Hey guys, it is Saturday, December 16th. I was about to say it's December 22nd. Clearly I'm into fast forwarding through time, but nope, it's Saturday, December 16th. It might be a little bit dark in here because shenanigans, and I waited until the end of the day to record a video, but I'm here and we're ugly Christmas sweatering. So today's episode is brought to you by pugs in Santa hats with three-dimensional gold bones and Bah Hum-PUG. So yeah, so if you want to join me, feel free to pause and put on your favorite ugly Christmas sweater or festive wear, Christmas vest, sequins, whatever the case may be, and we could have a good old-fashioned ugly Christmas sweater stitchy party. Why not? So I think this might be a shorter video today because I have one WIP. I have one thing that I have been working on since the end of October, and I just quickly became addicted to it and I can't put it down. There were maybe a few days, did I say October? Yeah, since the end of October, right, since the end of October. It's been a couple of days where I worked on something else, but really not for long. I think the longest I worked on one project outside of this one was for like 4 days. But most of you that follow me on Instagram or in Stitch Mania or the Friday Off the Grid party, you've seen the project. It's the only thing I've really been posting. But that is, yeah, been monogamous stitching lately. Thoroughly enjoying it. I spent the good part of this morning and early afternoon finishing up back stitching. I don't like back stitching. I don't like it. I like it in small doses, but when it's a lot, it becomes very tedious. And I'm glad I kind of stopped stitching. Once I got to that halfway point, that 2/3 mark, I stopped stitching and said, let me tackle this back stitching before going any further. And I'm really glad I did that because that would have been painful if I waited till the end. But now I know I have like 1/3 of the project left, and it's considerably less back stitching. It's still very detailed, but once I'm done, I'm done, and I'm kind of excited about that. So it looks like I might be able to finish this by the beginning of January. In my last video, which was a month ago, I believe, yeah, it was, because I started on October 27th, so I had to film in November because I showed you progress. So lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but I softly said in my last video I would love to have this finished by the anniversary of my dad's passing, which is coming up on January 3rd. And it looks like I might actually finish it by then. It wasn't planned that way. This is absolutely a no pressure project. I just truly enjoy stitching on it, and I haven't been able to put it down. So it looks like I might be able to do that. That would be great. But yeah, that's it. I have a Thanksgiving new start to show you. On Thanksgiving Day, I did a lot of my prep this year on Wednesday, and this year I think was the first time in I don't know how many years we kind of just, you know, had a low-key Thanksgiving here at home. We didn't go to my in-laws or anything, and it was good. It was good. It was quiet. So I made dinner here, but I did most of the prep on Wednesday, so I didn't have a whole lot of cooking to do on actual Thanksgiving Day. So I spent a lot of time just relaxing and stitching. And I was like, Thanksgiving, you know, some of the things we're thankful for, I'm thankful for, is of course this community, this hobby. So new Thanksgiving start, is that a thing? I asked, and I was like, I'm about to make it a thing, and I did. So why don't I just show you? I'm sitting here talking about it. Let me just dive in. So I decided, I had this pattern at least, I think, 1.5 years, 2 years, maybe, yeah, at least 2 years. It was Blend in Place Plum Pudding. and I've had it along with tiramisu for quite some time. And earlier this year, ooh, this got all bent up, and I don't know how I did that. That's not cool. Well, earlier this year, I started tiramisu. And by start, I mean, I think I put in like 1 row of the cream color, but I didn't like the fabric that I chose for it, so I kind of put it down, and that's where that stood. But I never touched plum pudding, which is what I decided to start. So the wicked glare, sorry about that. There you go, Glidden in Place plum pudding. Chock full of beads, but all full crosses. No back stitching. Yeah, just beads and cross stitches. But I started this on Thanksgiving Day of this year, and I think I stitched on it throughout that 4-day weekend that we had, or that I had. And here are some of the beautiful silks it calls for. I'm using all the called for Dinky Dyes fabrics. I'm lying. I'm using all of the called for Dinky Dyes threads. I don't even know if Dinky Dyes uses fabric. Might have just made that up. But here are all of the delicious colors. You know what? I really can't tell what's going on with this glare right now, because I have my stitching light overhead, and I have the main light on, but it's still like kind of dim. So hopefully this isn't looking too crazy. But these are all of the called for threads by Dinky Dyes, beautiful purples. I hope that shows up okay. I don't know. But let me put these back now before I lose track of them. So here is my start, and I am stitching this on. I'm fancy, I saved the tag. 32 count Zweigart in light avocado by the one and only XG Design. If you guys don't know by now, I'm a fan. Ginger Gerald has taken me down that rabbit hole with him, and there is no looking back. I love her fabric. I have so many of my projects right now on her fabric, but this is, let me double this up. Here is my progress. Not bad for 4 days, huh? Am I showing you this the wrong way? I might be. I don't know. Here's my progress. So because all of the Dinky Dyes are variegated, I'm doing all of this 1 stitch at a time. And that's fine. Who's rushing, right? That's my progress, and that was between whatever date Thanksgiving fell on and whatever Sunday that weekend ended. So once that was over, I went right on back to the embrace, and I've been there ever since. There was one day I decided I was feeling like a little full coverage stitching, so I think it was some Stitch Mania Sal, full coverage on the 4th, full coverage on the 5th. It was a Sunday, that's all I know, and I stitched on Funky Fish Carnival that day. Like, it's not even enough progress to show you. I did a whole bunch of confetti in the midst of other confetti, in the midst of other confetti inside of a page. And because I do cross country per page, it just, you really couldn't see what I did. So I don't even know what I did. So it's not enough to show, but the embrace. This is going to end the WIP parade for today. This is the embrace by Designworks. It is a design with a lot of glare on the, okay, there you go. So this is the embrace by Marianne Savage. It is a kit by Designworks. I changed the fabric. It comes on 14 count Aida. I changed the fabric, and I am doing it 2/2 on 36 count linen in Rusty Brown by XG Designs. So let me talk about the 36 count. I did a stitch with me video. My computer just did something stupid. I did a Stitch With Me video last week. After being asked to do one by the lovely Caroline, and just like Michelle, Bendy, Stitchy, I do whatever Caroline tells me to do. So I did a Stitch With Me video, and I talked about how I was watching one of Farm Girl's videos, and she said that on 36 count, she decided that she doesn't really want to stitch on 36 count. It's either going to be like 32 or 40, because she's always confused about, not confused, but there's always some question about how many threads to use. Now, I've stitched on 36 count with one thread, and it's beautiful. It's perfect even, and that's probably from here on out all that I will do. But on this particular project, because there's it's mostly full coverage, except for this negative space here where they have the guy. There's his arm and his head. Sorry about the glare. Do you see it? She's hugging like somebody that's just no longer there. And that's why I'm doing this in memory of my dad. That negative space where you see all that white, there's no stitching there whatsoever. But everything else is completely full coverage. Now, a lot of people ask me about her skin. I am going to do a skin conversion. And when I get to that point where I choose the colors for the skin, I want it to be something that favors my skin tone. I'm going to record that whole process, because I haven't even looked at what colors I'm going to use. Normally for skin tone, for something like my skin tone, similar to At the Met, I start with 436. 436 is my base color, and then depending on, I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail here, but depending on how the colors are, the original colors are matched up, like if it's something where they're more rosy or more peachy, or depending on the degree of contrast between the different shades, that's how I'll choose the highlighting shades and the contrasting shades. So that sounded a lot more complicated than it actually is. So when I get to the point where I'm doing her face, which I am 99% sure I'm just saving for last, when I get to the point where I'm doing her face, I'll record that entire process. Like, I'll pull out my full set and we'll just do it on film. So I know a couple of people asked me about that, so I'm definitely going to do that. I just haven't gotten to that point yet, but it's coming soon. So yeah, so I was saying on this particular piece, because it's mostly full coverage, I wanted to make sure that I almost wanted it to have that tapestry feel. And looking at it now, it almost does have that William Morris type of tapestry feel to it, but it's very dense stitching. Like, I can get my needle through it and everything, but I noticed a difference with how my stitches are laying, and it takes a little bit more effort to make sure that they're laying flat. Not a lot of effort, like it's not tedious, but it's more effort than I would have had to take if I was just stitching 1/2 instead of 2/2. So all of that to say that in the future, if I use 36 count, I will most likely use 1/2, and I will no longer use 36 count fabric for anything that has to do with full coverage. I probably should have done this on a 32 count, but everything happens the way it's supposed to, and I'm loving it so far. So here I'm going to insert a picture of where it was the last time we filmed. Remember, I just started this on October 27th, and I think I did my last video early November. So it was very little progress, but here's a picture of what it looked like. And here is where we are now. There we go. So, you guys, I am so in love with this project for so many different reasons. Today I put in all of this back stitching in the blue, on the vines, in her hair, around his head. Well, no, obviously I did not do all of that today. Today I finished the back stitching. So I am so excited, because when this when I'm done filming, I am going to roll the fabric up and I get to go back to doing some full stitches. Now, based off of my experience with this back stitching, I may do back stitching as I go. Like for example, if I finish this little section here, I might just go ahead and do all the back stitching in this little section, because I think it'll go a lot smoother. Because let me tell you, these, where are they? These little flowers. Oh, did you see that? I just punched myself in the face with my Millennium frame, guys. Who does that? Anyway, these little flowers, like here, these little white and blue flowers. Oh my gosh, they drove me crazy. The level of detail in that teeny weeny little flower. And of course, there's like only 22,000 of them. So that was a little bit crazy. But I got through it. I got through it and I lived to tell the story. So we're all good. But yeah, I think I'm going to be doing it by motif now. So I'm really, really pleased with this. So I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to think what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to have this framed or am I going to frame this myself? Guys, I think I'm going to kick out the money to just have it framed professionally with the museum glass. I really do, because it's just a very special piece to me. I just want that final touch on it. So I think when I have it done, I'm going to get it professionally framed. But you know what? Somebody left a message on Facebook the other day, and they asked, I think it was on the Friday Off the Grid Party group, they asked for those of us that are doing Stitch with Me videos, they shared a topic of discussion. Like, this person wasn't somebody that does a video, wanted to do a video herself, but she kind of threw out some topics of discussion, because the Stitch with Me videos for the Friday Off the Grid party or the after party or the Sunday brunch tailgate party, and I think I'm the party crasher. For more information about that, check out Caroline's video, Friday, or her Friday Off the Grid party group. Caroline's video is off the grid, and I will leave her, that's her Flosstube video, I will leave her information below. Also for Ginger Gerald Stitcher, Michelle Bendy Stitchy, Abby Bella Stitch. I believe those are some of the party animals that have joined her, and of course the Crafty Curator. She might have made a Stitch with Me video too. So for more information about that, check out their videos and see what's going on with that. But it's really fun, and we've all fallen down this wonderful rabbit hole together. But anyway, this is me trying to remember what in the world I was just talking about. Short-term memory loss is a thing. Framing. So the lady on the Facebook group, she threw out a topic of discussion about this woman who took her, I think she had a Haid, to the framer. Framer lost her piece. So her question was, do you think they actually lost it, or did they take it, or like how does one get reimbursed for something like that? You know how long it takes to stitch a Haid. Come on, I couldn't imagine. And it's not even about the monetary value. It's like, if a framer, like, to fast forward through this story, because I have a terrible habit of making a short story really long. So we're going to hit the fast forward button, and we're not going to do what Letitia tends to do. If I were to take this to a framer and they were to lose it, I can't even begin to imagine how I could ask for them to reimburse me, because they wouldn't know, you know, what this means to me. They wouldn't know that it's not just about, you know, a bunch of pretty colors or a pretty design. They wouldn't know about, you know, the time that I spent just staring at it, you know, or how connected I feel to my dad when I stitch on this. So for somebody to lose it, I think I would be beyond devastated. So now that's in the back of my head. But of course, the needle workshop that I go to, they would not be, number one, it's a needle workshop, and I know they would take better care. They just wouldn't do that. I don't believe they would. But nobody ever believes that, that would happen. But anyway, you see how I'm rambling? You see how I'm doing that? It's really an illness. So the question is up in the air, because that kind of put that bug in my brain now. But I really don't want to lend my amateur ways to trying to frame this. I really don't. So I'm probably going to professionally frame it. Yeah. So anyway, there's the embrace. Taking way longer to discuss than necessary. The other thing about this was Caroline asked me to do another Stitch With Me video. Abby, was it Abby? Yeah, I think Abby did too. And I'm happily going to do that, because let me tell you, I've done Stitch With Me videos in the past. That's fine. I'll put some white noise in the background, or, something in the background. I'll just happily stitch along, because I know I like to watch people stitch while I stitch, and sometimes I just like to see how they stitch, different stitching techniques. But what's different about these videos is we're actually talking. Like, just like I'm talking to you right now, I would talk in the Stitch With Me video. I think I talked about like super random things, but it's fun because you're stitching, and I love, love, love watching Caroline's, because she's talking, she's telling us what's going on in her world, and she's stitching, and I'm stitching right along with her, and it's truly a stitching party. And it's awesome. And my husband and daughter just came home, so I may or may not be embarrassed if he like walks in here and catches me being a nerd. But anyway, so that's all to say. I said I would do the Stitch With Me video, but I wanted to make sure that I was done with all this back stitching, because I don't think anybody wants to see a bunch of back stitching. So now that I have done that, tomorrow I will do another Stitch With Me video, and you get to see me stitch all down here. But I took a really long time explaining all of that, and that's fine, because my WIPs are now done. I don't have anything else to show you for that. I have haul. I have other things to show. I have other things to talk about, but as far as WIPs go, that's it. I've been a monogamous stitcher. We're in a steady relationship until it's done. So I think I'm going to jump into my haul. Speaking, I'm going right back to the embrace for a second. So Ingeborg, who is coming to the Flosstube retreat in New Jersey. Ingeborg, you have got to make time. If you could do me this one favor in life, I really just want to sit and stitch and have a cup of coffee with you. It would make me so happy. I look forward to that. We're going to make that happen. And I'm going to follow you around until you do it. How about that? So no, I'm not going to do that at all. But I'm so excited that she's coming to the New Jersey retreat. That was a big announcement she made last week, and I literally screamed like the crazy person that I am. But anyway, Ingeborg asked about my last video. She was talking about the way that I was stitching, and she noticed that I usually bring the needle down and come right back up. And she asked me, is there a particular reason why I do it that way? And yeah, I find that the stitches lay a little bit neater, and it goes a little bit quicker. So I wanted to make sure I answered that question. So if you look at my Stitch With Me videos and you see how I stitch that way, that's why. But we all have our ways of doing things. There's a little bit of crinkling going on because I'm opening packages, so I can pull out the patterns that I'm getting ready to show you from my haul, because apparently the glare is real. I'm just trying to make things a little bit easier. Anyway, this is a scatterbrained video, and it's funny because this is what happens sometimes. So I'm jumping into the haul section. I did get a little bit of haul, not a crazy amount, but a little bit. So this is actually exciting because I've never heard of this company before, Blue Ribbon Designs, but I swear I've seen work similar to this before. I'm thinking of a piece that Mackenzie stitched, her checkerboard piece, and on the sides and the bottom I think it said all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, something like that. In this first piece, it's called A Little Quakeresque by Blue Ribbon Designs. It's a Belinda Carl's niece design. It reminds me of that. So there it is. Monochromatic. I don't know why I like this so much. It's very simple, but it's got like a black work feel to it, but it's totally not black work. But I just like it a lot. So I got that. And that is by Blue Ribbon Designs, A Little Quakeresque. There's a close-up of it again, so you can take a look at those motifs. It just seems like it would be a fun stitch, because it seems like each letter in each motif might be like a quick finish. And this is one of those things where you look at it and you think, because it's all these little motifs that you're gonna whip through, it's one of those things that you're gonna just knock out in no time, right? Meanwhile, 4.5 years later, all that's done is an A and a snowflake. Right, that's how that goes in my life. But it's okay. It's okay. About to break out into a Miley Cyrus song. It's the climb. It's about to climb. Right? Anyway, nerd moment. So I think I got the called for fabric and the called for floss because I liked it. I like the blue on cream look. So I got some 40 count cream Newcastle. And this piece is 13 by 18. So on 40 count, I'll be doing it 1/2. 13 by 18. That only called for one skein of weeks. Right? Let me look again. Because the model is stitched on a 40 count, 1/2. I just want you to know that I said it only called for one skein, and I just looked at the pattern and it said 4 skeins are needed. And I think that's because all that 1, 2, 3 stitch had was one skein. So do not listen to Letitia. Letitia's a liar. It'll take 4 skeins of this beautiful blue from Weeks in Twilight. Beautiful variegated blue. I hope you can see that. The lighting is like terrible right now. Trying not to let my phone fall over because I have some notes on there. Not a lot, so wait a minute. I might just solve this problem now. Not a lot. I covered a lot of the notes that I've taken in my Stitch With Me video. So that's kind of good because there won't be like a whole lot of rambling today. Aside from the rambling that I've already done, right? So the second, I got a second pattern because you know the deal, no pattern travels alone. I got a second Blue Ribbon Designs chart. But I can't get out the bag. And this is called the Red Velvet Inscription Sampler. Trying to get it out the bag. That's all that's happening right now. There we go. Red Velvet Inscription Sampler. I don't know what it was about these little motifs. They seemed abstract and geometric and mandala-like for some reason. I just thought they were different and funky and I loved it. I'm not going to stitch the alphabet in there. If anything, maybe, I don't know, my last name, maybe I'll put needleworker. Ooh, maybe I can put needleworker in there. Or stitcher, crafty curator, party crasher, I don't know. But I do know I'm not going to put the alphabet in there. But look at those motifs, aren't they cool? All monochromatic. I'm going to show you what floss I've chosen. Actually, I'm pretty sure for this one as well, I got the cardboard floss. Yeah, I did. So I got, because it was such a beautiful color, I got another piece of cream Newcastle. And that is a fat quarter. And this, I think I got all 7 skeins over the weeks. I don't know why I was doing that. There you go, Bordeaux. Sitting there singing along to myself like I forgot. I think I actually did forget for a second that people were watching me. I just started singing to myself. As you do, right? So, Trisha, if you're watching, I don't know if you were selling weeks at the time, but the next time I get a crap ton of weeks like that, it's all you, boo. It's all you. This one I got a while back. So here's a fun story. Hopefully this will show up the way it's supposed to. I got Japanese Zen Garden. I've had the pattern for the longest time. And I think in the last 6 months or so, I finally put the full kit together. I know a long time ago, well, it wasn't that long ago, it was right after my dad passed. Jessie sent me a gift certificate. Jessie Marie sent me a gift certificate for European cross stitch, and I think she sent it specifically to help, just out of kindness, you know, because of what happened and everything. It's a very kind thing to do. But I think she specifically said maybe this will help kit up your chatteling, because I think that's how long ago I was talking about kitting it up. And of course it kind of fell down the wayside. But the gift certificate I used to help with, not even help, fully covered the bead kit. So thank you, Jessie, for that again. But I decided a long time ago that I thought I wanted to go really crazy, and I wanted to stitch it on Midas by Picture This Plus. And Midas was on the website. It looked like this pretty golden yellow. And the Japanese Zen Garden, or Moss Garden it's also called, just really popped on there to me. So I ordered this piece from 123 Stitch a while ago. I think it was on sale. I'm not sure. And I ordered this piece, but I was thinking of a Mirabilia. I want to say it was the Gypsy Queen, maybe not, but anyway. The piece I ordered wasn't big enough for the Japanese Zen Garden, and I'm in no way, shape, or form ready to start that right now. But when I got this piece of fabric, it was like the brightest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's not even showing up anywhere near. It's literally the color of a very ripe orange. But the modeling is like gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece of fabric, but it's the color of a very ripe, beautiful orange. The skin, not the fruit. The rind, like it's that orange. And it's beautiful, but what am I going to put on this? I don't know. I'll find something. I didn't think it would be that orangey. I thought it was more of a yellow gold. It's not. It's a traffic signal. Yeah. But I love it. This is one of those fabrics that it's going to choose the pattern. You heard it here first. What else did I get? I already had the Bellas from Nora Corbett. The Bellas. What did I just say? I had Bella Butterfly and Bella Bee, but I also wanted Bella Rose and Bella Hydrangea, so I got them. So Bella, I'm not sure which is which. Well, the one with the rose is Bella Rose. The one with the hydrangea is Bella Hydrangea. I'm not taking that out because that was a real life moment. There you go. So Bella Rose looks like she's a Caucasian woman, and Bella Hydrangea looks like a Hispanic woman. Bella Bee and Bella Butterfly, I can't remember which is which off the top of my head. I think Bella Bee is a black woman and Bella Butterfly is an Asian woman. Has anybody noticed that Nora Corbett memorabilia designs are getting more ethnically diverse lately? Case in point, I also bought Miss Cherry Blossom. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Miss Cherry Blossom. Remember when I said I bought it for that fabric for memorabilia and I didn't remember which one it was for? It was for this one. That's why I bought it. Jeez, guys. So, yeah, there is Miss Cherry Blossom, who I'm loving. She's giving me a little bit of Villa Mira in her skirt there. Isn't she the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? Somebody is stitching her on Instagram, and I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, when I got these two together, that doesn't make sense. When I got Cherry Moon, Miss Cherry Blossom, Cherry Moon, I have Prince on the brain. When I got Miss Cherry Blossom, and I saw this fabric, I thought that the tip of her skirt, which is really like orangey, would just totally blend in with this fabric. It's that orange, guys. It's that orange. So I'm gonna have to do a floss toss, but that's actually what I got the fabric for. I forgot until I just looked at it. So I'm gonna have to do a floss toss and see what's going on there. And I think for the Bellas, all four of the Bellas, I kind of want them to be all on the same piece of fabric. And I want them to be facing each other. Can I do that? I think I can. I think I can. So, yeah, because I think on the other pattern, there's one facing left and there's one facing right. So these two obviously won't be together. They might be facing each other. And then Bella, I just hit myself again. And then Bella Bee and Bella Butterfly will be facing each other and on one piece of fabric. And these are really tiny. I think the finished stitched area is like 4.5 by 4 for each one. Shockingly small. Am I going to do the scan 1/1 for all four of these women? I think I have to. I don't have to. I think I'm going to. I think that'll be gorgeous, don't you? All four of them, 4 different nationalities or ethnicities rather. Oh. Is this my next mirror? I have to get cracking on, I was about to say Lady of the Lake. That's not what she's called. What's she called? Lily of the Woods. I decided I was going to start a new mirror every year on my birthday. And I started her last June. And I don't think I've worked on her since July. I think in my next video, and I never do a New Year, New Plans video. I never do that, but I think I have to because I feel like my stitching style is changing. I always say this. I feel like my stitching style is changing because I'm doing these monochromatic monogamous projects. And I think I did the same thing last year. Like I worked on blue Moroccan lace last year. It seemed like from Thanksgiving straight through to the end of the year. And then I focused on the finish with Rafiki. And then I swear that was my kid outside. I swear that sounded like, but I think she's in the house. But the window's cracked open. I'm hearing the neighbors and it sounded like her outside. But I think she's in the house. Anyway. My husband's downstairs. I'm not ignoring the fact that my kid may or may not be in the house. My husband's downstairs. Now that I might edit out. That was a mess. Forgot what I was talking about again. Lady of the Lake. Oh God. Talk amongst yourselves, guys. I have these moments where I forget what I was talking about. I was so distracted thinking I heard her out there. I forgot what I was talking about. No, I was doing Lily of the Valley. I'm sorry. Lily of the Fields. And I was talking about how toward the end of last year I was stitching on Blue Moroccan lace, and then I focused on the finish for Rafiki and then the Raven Queen. And actually I finished them because I focused on the finish with those. And I think I finished the Raven Queen. I finished her while I was still out for my foot surgery. So that had to have been somewhere between February and March, because I went back to work the end of March. And since then I've been scattered working on everything. And so here we are again now, and I'm focusing on the finish. So I might do a plans video because I might focus on wrapping up some things for 2018. Like I have to finish that Lily of the Fields. Is it Lily of the Fields? Lily of the Valley? You know the one, the Mirabilia. She's on the tree. And the one I did on the moon fabric. I think it's Lily of the Valley or Lily of the Fields, because Lily of the Valley is the flower. I'm still going to get a thumbs down for this video. I'm just nonsensical. I hope you guys are still with me and forgive me. So I need to hurry up and finish that one so I can start my new mirror on my birthday and keep that tradition going. It's a tradition, even though I've only done it once. Which is not a tradition, but whatever. I want to finish Blue Moroccan lace. I really do. Martina, right? Yeah, Martina. That was something. I want to finish my peacocks and posies. I want to finish my tribal monkey. I want to finish, I would love to see Funky Fish Carnival finished, but that's not going to happen in 2018. But if I just finished my Lily of the Field, my tribal monkey, my peacocks and posies, my Blue Moroccan lace. There's another big one I'm forgetting. There's another good one I'm working on that I'm forgetting. But that right there, that's a good year to me. That's a good year of finishes. Like, if this year I finished the Raven Queen and Rafiki, which for me are huge. They were two big finishes. And I'm not much of a finisher, guys, because I'm so all over the place. And I'm really going to try to finish this one. But like I said, that's going to be, I would love to finish that by January 3rd. But if I don't, it's fine too. So I may or may not have just covered my 2018 plans in review. But yeah, even if I get those finished, that's a success to me. Anything finished is a success, right? But yeah. So maybe that'll keep me from buying all the things. I know, I'll give you all a moment to finish laughing at what I just said. But maybe if I focus on finishing, I won't be doing as much buying. Unless Caroline keeps posting stuff and pictures of stuff and tagging me in it, stuff that she knows I'm going to want to buy. Caroline, these two are totally her fault, 150%, and she's going to own it. As soon as she sees that, she's going to be, yep, that sure is my fault, because Letitia knew nothing in the world about landmark tapestries before meeting Caroline, and her world changed forever, and I'm forever grateful. So we know about the pieces I showed in my last video, the same ones that Caroline had. Like, as soon as she showed them, I knew I had to have them, and now I do. But somebody in the Friday Off the Grid group posted these, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are. It's Caroline tagged me in, and I saw it, and everything went blank, so I'm sorry I don't remember your name. But I think I think the person that she showed is stitching the golden fish, which is that one. And of course, I got the phoenix and the fish because, yeah, there's the phoenix. And this is Landmark Tapestries and Charts. And I got these from, oh my gosh, what's the lady's name? Where I got it before. It was Claire Celtic Cornucopia. I'll put it down below. But I know the proprietor's name is Claire, and she's wonderful. So I got these from her shop. And again, that's the same shop where I got the Oriental Tapestries collection. I'll put that below. And here, of course, it's the fish because, you know, I like stitching fish. And I'm holding it that way so you don't see the glare, obviously. But these are all the ones in the series. You have your phoenix, the golden fish, the blue crane, and the stork. All are beautiful, but I didn't go buck wild. I just bought 2 of them. I didn't buy the whole collection like I did the last time. The whole collection. I just bought it all. And finally, I guess I did get a little bit of haul, huh? I got a couple of kits from, I didn't get the kits from Northern Expressions Needlework, but I got the patterns from Northern Expressions Needlework. I have finally broken down and got Esther's Waves. I've been looking at that forever. I'm going to save that for last to talk about it because I kind of put my own spin on it. Well, not really. Fiberlicious Threads helped me, but we'll talk about that. So the first one I chose was the Peacock Mandala. And I'll insert a picture of that here. So the Peacock Mandala, I ordered the threads from Fiberlicious Threads, the called for threads. Look, are these silks? I think so. Yeah, these are hand-dyed silks. 40 single strands, 48 meters from Fiberlicious Threads. Apparently Fiberlicious Threads, and forgive me if I'm late to the game, do they have some type of like agreement with Northern Needleworks, Northern Expressions? Because they sell the kits for a lot of the Northern Expressions patterns. Well, not a lot, but many of them. So I got this as a little kit. This was the Peacock Mandala kit. Look at those delicious colors. The Peacock Mandala. This is turquoise, Avs. Did I just say Avs? I never say that. Where'd that come from? Gold Nugget, Sapphire Blue, cool name, Evergreen, Grape. Gorgeous colors, nice and vibrant. And then I got the bead pack. So let me be clear. I got the pattern and the bead pack for the Peacock Mandala from Northern Expressions Needlework. So whatever picture I just put up, I don't remember. I think, yeah, the picture I just put up should have been for the Peacock Mandala. I'm closing up the bag, but I want to show you the beads because the beads are a little bit different. They're so small. These beads, you guys, this should be very interesting. So the bead pack I got, I'm repeating myself, I know. The bead pack I got from Northern Expressions Needleworks. Look how teeny these are. They're really tiny. These are the turquoise, well, not turquoise, but these are the blue and purples. Look how tiny. And then we got some Swarovski crystals, Scarabaeus green. These all say Scarabaeus green. I don't know. Is that the word? Scarabæus? I've never heard of that. But all three of them say Swarovski Scarabæus Green, 5328, 5000, and 5810. And these little beads, I think the beads that I'm used to are size 11. These are size 15. So these are super teeny. You know, as the number gets higher, the bead gets smaller. So these are really tiny. There's a lot of them, so that should be an adventure for me. I'm gonna put these back real quick so I don't lose them. So yeah, I don't think I have my fabric picked out yet, but I am sure, thanks to XJU Design, I am so sure I have a piece of fabric for my peacock mandala whenever I'm ready for it. But that is the entire kit. That's it. Then I'm going to insert a picture of Esther's waves here. So with Esther's waves, here's my stuck. I think my hesitation with getting Esther's waves, because I wanted it for a very long time, my hesitation was the colorway. I did not particularly care for that colorway. The colorway that I loved, and now that I have the colors, I'm wondering if we chose the same colorway. Colorway that I love is what Deborah Fassler did with her Esther's waves. It was blues and purples. I think I'm remembering it correctly. Did you get those from Fiberlicious Threads if you're watching, Deborah? Because Fiberlicious Threads has my nephew is texting me right now because I'm jumping ship, totally different subject. So my nephew just is texting me right now because he is binge watching Grey's Anatomy. And I'm not going to say anything if any of you are not up to date, but he was binge watching it from the very beginning. He's never watched it before to current, and I think he's just now in season 11 for all you Grey's watchers. That's the season that it happened. You know what I'm talking about? He's devastated. I'm talking him off the ledge. Poor boy. But yeah, that's the season that it happened. He is devastated, as were we all. I didn't watch it for a year after that, no lie. I was hurt. I was devastated. I stopped watching Grey's for a year. Just was hurt. But anyway, so he's hurt right now. And he's sending me a message telling me he's at that point. But anyway, Deborah Fassler, she did her Amber's waves in these beautiful blues and greens. And Fiberlicious has different colorway options on their website for, I keep saying Amber's waves. It's not Amber's waves of green, it's Esther's waves. So these are the colors that I chose. Beautiful blues and purples and aqua. Darling Bluebell. I know that you see this, Darling Bluebell. Yep. So my Esther's waves is going to be all blues and purples and greens. So then with that, I didn't know what beads to get. Because this apparently takes a lot of beads. I didn't know what beads to get. So I decided that I was going to try out Fire Mountain Gems. Because from what I understood, I think Katie goes there a lot. You can get Delica beads in large quantities for very good prices. And let me tell you, you can. The only downside is it's not a brick and mortar store, so it's not something where you can go in and buy them or choose what colors. So I literally had to kind of hope for the best. So the way that Esther's Waves is set up for every color that you use, there is a coordinating bead, and I believe there are 11 colors in that pattern, so I had to get 11 coordinating beads, and here they all are. There's all of them. They coordinate with all of the colors that I just showed you. Beautiful blues and aquas. This is how they come packaged. Size 11 delicas. And it's almost a little bit overwhelming, like the choosing which ones, because they'll have white lined beads, they'll have gold lined beads, they'll have all of these different types of beads where if you don't really know what you want, it might be a little difficult. But I kind of matched it up and it's perfect for me, because I mean, the truth be told, that I don't know, it's hit or miss, isn't it? But as long as it was in a similar colorway, I was good. And I wanted them all to sparkle the same way. Like, they have different types of finishes. They have opaque, they have matte, they have, what is this finish? They have, I don't know what this finish is, but they were all the same type of finish. That's, I don't have the invoice with me, but anyway. I mainly made sure that all the finishes were the same, if they were lined the same way, like if they were all white lined or all lined with the color of the bead, that it all kind of lined up, so I didn't have different finishes or different types of linings, like some beads with silver lining, some beads with gold lining, that kind of thing. And it worked out for me perfectly. So I think this is an excellent option too. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I think it's an excellent option too if you want to do something completely in beads, like what Pemberley did with her Kiss by Alessandra Italy. Excuse me, so sorry. This is a great place to go because you get an excellent deal. You can buy them in much bigger quantities than the vial that I just showed you, but that's exciting. So there's the whole kit there. And that was it for my haul. One last thing I want to talk about, and then I think we can wrap this up, and we're at 57 minutes, so it's about right. I usually go for about an hour or so. So the last thing I want to talk about is there was this whole thing maybe about 2 months ago when people found out that Thread Heaven was closing up shop, and they were like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then somebody said something about the silicone earplugs that you get at the drugstore. And apparently they posted something about it online somewhere, because it felt and looked like the same exact chemical compound. It was made of silicone, and it felt exactly the same as Thread Heaven. And when they posted it online, even Thread Heaven replied and said it was extremely close. Paraphrasing, but it was extremely close, and well done for picking up on that. So I knew exactly what they were talking about. I have earplugs. I don't use the silicone ones. I use the little foam ones, but I sleep with earplugs because, you know, snoring. But I knew exactly what they're talking about because when I go to Rite Aid. That's the name of the drugstore chain closest to me. When I go to Rite Aid and I pick up my earplugs, they're always right there. And you get 12 silicone earplugs for like $4, $5, as opposed to 1 cube of Thread Heaven or Thread Magic, which is even more expensive. Same exact thing. Thread Heaven was what, $3 a cube? Thread Magic was a little bit more expensive, $6, $5 or $6. But you get 12 silicone earplugs for like $4 or $5. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try it, because worst case scenario, I don't like it, or it's not the same. I wear earplugs almost every night, so whatever. It's no loss to me. However, surprise, surprise, it kind of is the same thing. Some people don't like using Thread Heaven. It's perfectly fine, but some people, myself included, I love a nicely conditioned thread. So if you are a thread heaven user, I highly recommend going out and getting the Max silicone earplugs. It comes in this handy dandy case, plastic case, locked shut. And it's the one that comes in the big blue box. It says Max. If I can, I'll insert a picture of it here. But when you open the package, all right, I got cut off. Sorry about that. Apparently I reached my max. But what I was saying was these are the Max earplugs. These are what they come in. Hopefully I didn't get cut off before I mentioned what these were about, but I think it caught it in time. So when you open it up, you have 12 earplugs. They're covered in plastic. These are the earplugs covered in plastic. As you can see, it looks exactly like a little disc of thread heaven. It also feels, conditions. It feels exactly like thread heaven. Same exact thing. I have used this. You see where I pinched off a little piece to ball it up and use it on my thread. I've tested it on my thread. It was perfectly fine. Covered in this plastic and closed up in this case. This is not dried out. It's still soft. It is exactly like thread heaven. I have not noticed any difference whatsoever. So this is almost, I mean, to me, and thread heaven even kind of said it is the same thing basically. It's an excellent alternative. Thread Magic is a great alternative. It's a lot more expensive. I highly recommend giving this a go. If you're not a thread heaven user or beeswax user, or you prefer beeswax and hate thread heaven, that's perfectly fine. I'm a thread heaven lover. So my thread heaven peeps out there, give this a go. It's good stuff. Anyway, I think that is all that I have for now. If I get to do another video before the end of the year, definitely it'll be an update on the Embrace, I'm sure. Probably won't really do a year in review, but I will be watching yours if you do one. And I'll figure out my plans for next year and talk about it. I don't like making plans like that because I get easily distracted by things that are new and shiny, and those plans might go to pot, so we never know. But I will put some thought into it and see what we come up with. But if I do not record again before the new year, I'm definitely doing a Stitch with Me video, so you'll see that. But if I don't do another update before the year is out, I wish you a beautiful holiday season. Happy Hanukkah. We are in full swing of Hanukkah right now. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you choose to celebrate or don't choose to celebrate, if the remainder of your year is spent happy, surrounded by those that you love, even if that person is yourself in your stitching. May you enjoy that time and have a beautiful and prosperous new year if I don't see you again before then, which I will, because I'm going to record a Stitch with Me video tomorrow, but that's okay. So anyway, thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you got a lot of stitching done. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble, and even if you didn't, thanks for sticking it out anyway. I was a little scattered today. I'll see you guys next time. Love and stitches. Bye-bye.